All right, let's dive in. Today we're looking at the Co-operative Republic of Guyana. It's the only English-speaking nation in South America, and the sources we have show this just radical, dizzying transformation.
It's a total paradox, really. I mean, you have this sudden rush of wealth colliding head-on with, well, massive instability.
And when you say wealth, you mean it.
Oh, absolutely. Guyana is, and this is not an exaggeration, the world's fastest growing economy. We're talking a GDP growth rate of, 43.6% in 2024. It's staggering.
Wow.
And the oil production has just exploded. It's surged past 900,000 barrels per day by late 2025. That kind of speed is, well, it's also the source of the crisis.
So that's the core of it, this incredible economic miracle, but it's completely overshadowed by two immediate pressures.
Exactly. You've got a shattered political structure on the inside, and then this escalating conflict with Venezuela on the outside.
Let's start with the politics, because the money seems to have just broken it.
It really did. The September 2025 general elections, they just fractured the old system. The ruling PPPC, they won, but the traditional opposition, APNU, saw a complete and historic collapse.
How bad of a collapse?
Down to just 17.79% of the vote. I mean, they were basically wiped out as a major force.
And that created a huge vacuum. So who? Who picked up all those votes?
A total newcomer, a party called We Invest in Nationhood, or WIN for short. They came out of almost nowhere.
And they became the new opposition?
Yep. Secured 24.87% of the vote. But this is where the speed of all this change really crashes into reality.
Okay.
Just weeks after the election, their leader, Azrud Mohammed, and his father were arrested. This was late October 2025.
And this wasn't a local police matter?
No, not at all. It was triggered by a U.S. extradition request. The charges, they were for things like money laundering and tax evasion, all tied to gold exports.
I think our sources mentioned the U.S. had actually sanctioned them for this back in June 2024, so it wasn't a total surprise.
Right, the writing was on the wall. But the arrest, right after an election, it elevates it to a sovereignty crisis.
How so?
Because you've just paralyzed the entire political opposition. The leader of the second biggest voting bloc is now facing extradition. It creates this massive governance vacuum right when you need unity most.
And all while this is happening, the oil engine just keeps roaring.
It doesn't stop. That 900,000 barrels per day milestone was hit in November 2025. A lot of that was driven by the early startup of the Yellowtail development.
That's the one using the One Guyana FPSO, right? The massive floating platform.
The very one. The efficiency is just phenomenal. But, and this is a big but, that success is immediately undercut by a huge warning sign.
The transparency issue.
Exactly. A mid-year report got leaked in November. It revealed that ExxonMobil and the government had, well, they'd kept quiet about 3 new oil discoveries made earlier in the year.
Not a good look.
No, it just fuels these deep accusations of an incestuous relationship with the oil companies. It makes transparency a massive liability.
And if you connect that lack of trust at home to the threat from outside, it gets dangerous. The Venezuela situation isn't just talk anymore.
Not at all. It's shifted to a hybrid conflict. On May 15th, 2025, Guyanese soldiers were attacked near the Guyanese River.
Attacked by who?
By armed men in civilian clothing. The belief is that they were Venezuelan irregular forces.
So with all this pressure, how is the government trying to use the oil money to hold everything together?
They're trying to be strategic. They're desperate to avoid Dutch disease, which is that classic problem where oil money just destroys every other part of your economy.
Right. And they're also trying to fix old problems.
Yes, historical grievances. They're doing it through something called the Low Carbon Development Strategy, or LCDS 2030. It's actually pretty clever.
How does it work?
It mandates that 15% of all revenues from carbon credits, that's over 9.5 billion Guyanese dollars, goes directly to Amerindian villages.
Ah, so it's a direct way to spread the wealth and empower communities that have been marginalized.
Precisely. It builds a social contract.
So to wrap this up for you, our listener, Guyana is in the middle of an infrastructure revolution. You've got the gas-to-energy project, a new toll-free harbor bridge, massive, visible progress.
But all of it, every single project, is happening against this backdrop of extreme political fragility and a very real military threat.
So the whole thing rests on a knife's edge.
It does. The entire future of this economic boom, it really hinges on one question. Can the government build strong, transparent institutions fast enough?
Before corruption or conflict pulls the whole thing down.
Exactly. Can they manage the wealth and the politics before the foundation of it all just crumbles? That tension is what's going to define Guyana for the next decade.